This is a James Poeartistry consultant moment. What type of civilization have we grown to be? Hello, perceptive readers. This is James again with just a few thoughts on this nice weekend. In order for civilization to have grown, to the extent that it has, produced air travel, space travel, buildings and architecture on a level that some people may say Michelangelo couldn't have done any better. Even though at the same time, maybe he still, if he was alive today, would be creating marvels on this level and more. See, that possibility really is there. Whatever creative works we have or productions we have today, they could not have come about unless we have had some type of peace of civilization. Would you agree? Because how can you produce these fine works of art if war was on every area, every land around the globe? Then nothing would ever be preserved. You heard me share a podcast or a commentary on a show called Star Trek, and it was dealing with they tasted Armageddon. And the people went to such, an extreme though of preserving their great classical works, even the land, topology, buildings. In other words, when they fought with another land, you could not send regular weapons. It all was done electronically and AI wise. Even though the word AI wasn't mentioned, you can still see the same type of operations and calculations was done on such a high level. And so what happened is once people say, I pushed this button and our missiles have hit this area, then these people actually had to go into these chambers that, guess what, erased them from all existence as far as physically something else. I always find it also interesting that when Captain Kirk did visit that planet, and they were caught right in the middle of it, and he heard the buzzards or alarms going off that they had been bombarded by missiles and that the city was destroyed. And Captain Kirk was looking all around, said, "Look, we still here. Everything is beautiful. All the books and everything else, nothing has shook at all. You see." And yet, when he brought that out to the main magistrate or administrator of that land, that's when he went on to explain to Captain Kirk that, it basically was all done by computers, but then we got to listen to the computers. Now, when Kirk argued about this, their method of resolving conflict even through their wars, then Captain Kirk was called a barbarian. All the same, I'm here to share with you today, if you ever looked at that episode about them Armageddon, then you may come to the conclusion as well that even though they had all this, I forgot what that high intellectual society, where they really did develop their minds and everything of that nature. See, even develop their minds and their art on such a high IQ level as well. All the same, to organize it in this way, the way that they fought their wars, Captain Kirk could have turned right back around and said they were barbaric in their own reasoning, Now, I wanted to share that with you because it just places the emphasis on, in order to create anything that's really worthwhile and lasting, and we can see this throughout the centuries, even during the Middle Ages. You read in history books where there were certain type of crusades and wars going on over here and there, and yet there was still sections or pockets, where art was being created, literature was being created, Bibles were even being produced, even though sometimes that was under great strain and stress, you see, because there were just certain people sometimes that didn't even want the Bibles being translated for the common people. All the same, in order to produce those works, there were still people who were civilized. You see, there were still people pursuing their craft. It didn't matter what their background happened to be, how they may dress, or what have you. They lived by an honorable code to such an extent where they could be about their business, creating something wonderful and helpful in the world. You see what I'm saying, perceptive readers? Something wonderful in the world. So I'm here to share with you again today. Even if persons are viewed as barbarians in the way they look or the way that they dress or what have you, look at their work. Look at their work. Look at what they're producing, what they're striving to do. You see, how they actually still carry out their lives in a peaceful way on a daily basis, even if they're wearing some type of animal clothing, mink coat. Please don't get upset about that, because, some person be like, see, that's barbaric. You know what I'm talking about, where they also have artificial, fur and things of that nature, which I don't want to, say, use, but you get what I'm saying on this. In order for us to continue to progress and become the best that we need to be, you see, that we want to be and that we need to be, eventually there will have to be peace across the whole globe. What do you think about that? Have a very wonderful day, perceptive readers. Take care.